Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and thank you for clicking on the video. I first want to start this one out by just thanking everyone who tuned in for all the videos I uploaded yesterday. I had a blast making all those videos, testing them out, and getting to learn about this update more and more. In fact, I did a lot of testing with Hydroid. There were a lot of things I wanted to talk about in that video, but it was starting to get a little bloated after 10 minutes, so I decided to make a separate video here today to talk about the top 5, in my opinion, best weapons to run with Hydroid after his rework. Let's just jump straight into the video. At number 5, we've got the Amprx. The Amprx has been in the game for a very long time. It's a fan favorite. In my opinion, it's always kind of been the Ignis versus the Amprx, and I have to say I'm team Amprx. I always have been. I've always enjoyed it a little bit more, but thanks to Hydroid's passive, it's kind of resurrected this weapon from the dead. You never really see anybody use it anymore because it's just outpaced by so many other primary options. So because of Hydroid's passive, it's going to be stripping armor inherently now with each damage tick. So as you can see, once you get the weapon going here, it just melts everything. Treats these Steel Path level 190 heavy gunners like they're butter. We'll go ahead and do it one more time. Get in there, activate 3, and just go to town. Now, I kind of knocked this weapon, as you can see, just because of that reload. You're burning ammo pretty quickly because I am running Prime Shred in here, just for that little bit of punch through. And we'll go over the build real quick right here. This is actually what I'm running. Now, it does come with inherent electric, but because you don't want to just run corrosive because Hydroid is already giving that to you, I went ahead and slotted in cold on top of the toxin, which gives me viral and electric. So you're getting 3 statuses with corrosive, which really benefits galvanized aptitude very nicely. Amalgam serration, while not necessary, I like to play Hydroid a little bit more mobile, so getting that little bit of sprint speed is really nice. Again, like I said, Prime Shred is going to help you clear ads a little bit quicker because your electric beam is going to be punching through them and reaching them a little bit further, thanks to Sinister Reach as well. Everything else is, self-explanatory. You got your crit and crit chance mods, and of course your primary merciless. At number 4, I don't think this comes to a shock to absolutely anyone. It's going to be the Phantasma. Phantasma has been and always will be a fantastic weapon. It is super good, especially because it is a beam weapon. It is applying those status procs so quickly that these enemies cannot react whatsoever. You will be frying them so fast, so easily. And like I said, I put Amprx at 5 just because that reload speed knocks it down a little bit. Phantasma doesn't suffer from that at all, clearly. We'll do it one more time. Activate 3. Just mows them down like they are nothing. Now for the build, this is what I'm running currently. It does have a Riven. I do consider this a pretty good roll. These are the stats. If you don't have a Riven, I would just run something like this. I highly recommend you get Shotgun Vendetta out of Duviri. The farm is a little tedious. You do have to kill the worm a lot and buy the arcanes with Pathos clamps, but as you can see, it's highly worth it, especially when you get multi-shot and reload speed for a shotgun like Phantasma. It's just something you really cannot miss. So do yourself a favor, get the Phantasma, try it out with Hydroid. I think you're really going to like it. At number 3, I was really debating at putting this at number 1, but as you'll see, number 1 and number 2 are pretty close in terms of lethality. But for number 3, we've got the Ucore. It's actually a secondary. Yes, a secondary made this list. How crazy is that? So we'll go ahead and spawn them. Basically, the Ucore as a secondary, it's been pretty bad for a long time. Just recently, though, in the Nightwave currently going on at the recording of this video, DE released a new augment called Sentient Surge that basically resurrected this weapon from the dead. It was so bad, it really didn't do a whole lot. The stats were not very good. But basically the augment, for each tendril that the weapon produces, you're going to be buffing your crit chance and status chance for every tendril, and it only goes away on reload. So you have those tendrils up for as long as you can keep the weapon filled, and on each kill, it reloads the magazine. So that doesn't actually count towards reloading and removing the tendrils. So as you'll see here, once I get a kill, 1 tendril, 2 tendril, 3 tendril, 4. It gets pretty crazy pretty fast. We'll do it one more time. Activate the 3. And yeah. It's pretty nuts. It is absolutely nuts how crazy a secondary can perform after just 1 rework and 1 augment mod. Now for the build, this is what I'm running. It is a triple threat status build, so you're definitely going to want to have galvanized shot. I am running Cascadia Flare because that is where I'm getting the bulk of my damage from. 480% is super duper good. This does have a Riven, however, it's nothing more than heat really, so I would just slot in Prime Heated Charge. The critical damage is nice, but overall this Riven isn't very good. There's a ton of other stats that I could shoot for, and if you're curious about the exact wordage that was used, this is what the augment mod does. Right here. And again, the unique trait, you get up to 4 tendrils. As you saw, it will seek out those enemies automatically, just auto aim and slay them out. Very, very good for a secondary, in fact. For the number 2 spot, we have the Miter. Now, you probably already know how good this weapon is on its own, but I really think that Hydroid elevates this weapon even past 10. I would say it puts this weapon at like an 11. Because of Hydroid's passive, again, it's going to be stripping their armor automatically, but when you have the Incarnate mode, it's got the discs that kind of ricochet around and apply all sorts of status on its own. But as you can see here, it's good, but I really have to burn it pretty hard to kind of get it going. I had to use the full Incarnate just to kill everything. Now, if I actually activate his 3, you'll notice how much quicker this thing kills them. Much better. Instead of a full mag, it's about 5. I think that's pretty good, especially when you have a big room of enemies and you can just kind of do this.
And it's gone.
Now for the Miter build, this is actually the first weapon on the list I don't have a Riven for. You're going to be killing things pretty quickly, so you probably don't need hunter munitions. I'm running Hammer Shot because Galvanized Aptitude does not actually work with radial weapons. The latter portion doesn't, so there's really no reason to run it. And Hammer Shot is actually a really good mod. A lot of people crap on it, but that extra critical damage is really nice, especially with a weapon that does as much damage as the Miter does. If you don't want to use hunter munitions, you could run something like Prime Shred, or maybe another damage mod, whatever, of Vigilant Armaments, whatever you want to choose. But for the Arcane, again, it's going to be Primary Merciless, and it's a pretty standard a viral build, so not a whole lot going on. You can even put heat in there. And the number 1 best weapon, in my opinion, with Hydroid is going to be the Strun. Now, the Strun also has an Incarnate form, and it's already really good. However, when you activate it against enemies like this, it will one-shot them over time if you actually apply hunter munitions here. As you'll see, they will die eventually. It's just not as immediate that maybe the Miter can do on its own after a couple shots. It's very similar in terms of damage, in my opinion. However, here's the big difference. When I activate the Incarnate mode and I have my passive working overtime with my 3, this is the damage output we get. We'll go ahead and activate. 1 shot, 1 shot, 1 shot, 1 shot, 1 shot, and a 1 shot. like they're it's like they're not even there. It's absolutely crazy. This is the build I'm running. Again, this does have a Riven on it. However, it's nothing more than damage multi-shot. You don't need it. You could really just slot in Prime point blank, and you'll be just fine. This does have Hunter munitions in it. Again, it really doesn't have a whole lot of crit, but when you have the Incarnate mode active, it gets a whole lot of crit. So it's really, really nice. Plus, it is a pellet-based shotgun, so you're bound to hit a couple slash procs here and there anyway. So the main thing to notice, though, is how much status it has. With this build and the Incarnate evolutions that it has, we've got a whole lot of status. A whole lot of status. It is crazy. If you haven't seen my Strun video, I released it when it actually came out. The weapon is super duper good. Go get this weapon if you don't have it. But that's actually my list. I really struggled with this list. I was trying to debate like what some people would consider better than others, but I think my list turned out pretty well. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, go check out my other videos. I did Grundle, I did Dagath, I did some of the weapons that came out with this recent update, and I also did Hydroid's rework overview as well, so go check that out too. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.